Welcome to this video, a sample of our grammar content. Today we are diving into the chapter on the verbs, the words that drive every sentence. Together we'll explore how verbs work in English grammar. Let's get started. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Bokarsul Fatima, teacher of grammar at Larbi Tebessi University. Throughout this module, we'll explore one of the most important components of English grammar, which is the verb. Now we will move to the learning objectives. By the end of this module, you will be able to define verbs and identify their different types. You will all distinguish between regular and irregular verbs, classify verbs according to their valency, and identify dynamic verbs apart from stative ones. And you will also be able to recognize the linking verbs and understand the role they play in a sentence. Before we dive in, let's take a moment to talk about the prerequisites to activate what you already know about verbs. You will practice spotting verbs in simple sentences, telling actions apart from states, and recognizing the verbs that link a subject to a description. You will also talk about how verbs function in everyday communication. To warm up, you will work through a short diagnostic activity together, analyzing a sentence. Now we move to the core concepts, starting with the definition. A verb is the organizing center of every clause, the word that everything else in the sentence builds around. We'll look at verbs from two angles: the morphological perspective, which is how a verb's form changes to express tense and aspect, and the second one, which is syntactic perspective, is how verbs combine with other elements to build sentence structure. Next, we will study how sentence structure and verb morphology work together. We will cover the basic building blocks: sentence structure itself, the subject and predicate, verb phrases, tenses, and the 5 principal forms every English verb can take. Regarding to the features and properties of verbs, every verb shares 4 defining properties. The first, predication. It is how the verb expresses what's being said about the subject. The second, inflection. It is how a verb changes form to mark tense, person, and number. The third is argument structure or valency. It tells us how many participants a verb requires. And the fourth one is known as modification. It is how verbs can be shaped by adverbs and other elements around them. Now let's classify verbs into 4 types. Dynamic verbs describe actions or processes. Stative verbs describe states, feelings, or conditions. Some verbs are mixed, functioning as either dynamic or stative depending on context. And linking verbs connect the subject to a description. Other types depends on transitivity and valency. Verbs can differ in how they take objects. Intransitive verbs take no object at all. Transitive verbs take one direct object. Ditransitive verbs take 2 objects. And ambitransitive verbs can be used with or without an object. Another type is based on how verbs form their past form. For regular verbs, we add ed to the end of the verb. For irregular verbs, the past simple can take several forms, which are zero change, where the base form stays the same. It can also be a vowel change, where an internal vowel shifts. It can also a consonant change, and sometimes, for some verbs, there is an entire different form which is produced. So how will your progress be evaluated? We'll use a mix of formative and summative techniques. On the formative side, expected diagnostic and quizzes and grammar analysis activities. On the summative and practice side, we will use matching activities, error correction tasks, self-assessment activities, and both a midterm and a final quiz. Here's what's expected from you throughout the course of this module. You will consult the course materials and grammar notes, watch the video lessons, and complete the interactive activities. You will participate in discussion forums and collaborate with the classmates, practice grammar in context, and submit your assignments on. To conclude, throughout this module, we will explore the different aspects of English verbs through explanations, examples, activities, and discussions. I hope this journey strengthens your grammatical knowledge and helps you use English more confidently. Thanks for your attention and your time.